I'd say more importantly than that is just getting it down. So in a bulking context, similarly to with life, I'd say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And not just arbitrarily. I'd say the rate at which you can get calories in earlier in the day, the higher that rate is, the easier it's going to be for you to actually hit whatever your actual calorie goal is for the end of the day in a bulking context, of course. So let's say I didn't eat this bowl of cereal, how many calories it ends up being. And maybe I didn't have anything after cardio and I went straight to class. Before you know it, it could be noon. It could be like 3, and you haven't really eaten anything substantial other than maybe just snacks or something. And then if you're trying to bulk up, and let's say you've got like a calorie goal of 4,000 calories, you got to eat 4,000 calories per day to actually gain weight on a noticeable scale. If it's already 3 o'clock, you've lost half your day. You've got to eat an amount of calories before you go to bed, which would be the same rate of eating 8,000 in one day, right? If you're eating 4,000 just in the second half. It just doesn't make sense. So when it comes to, honestly, same thing with dieting too, spreading out your meals evenly throughout the day, I say that's probably your best bet. Because you got to remember, what's the name of the game in a bulk? It's to not feel full, right? It's to eat a meal, wait your 2 hours or whatever, and then be hungry enough to eat the next one. So if this breakfast ended up being, this bowl of cereal, and instead of just this, maybe I tried to eat like 2 muffins and, I don't know, whatever, another extra like 700 calories or something. I'm not really going to be hungry in 2 hours. It's just going to be too much food, So when I'm bulking, I want to kind of have a steady flow of calories in, which doesn't put me in a position where I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't eat anymore. Oh, and then as soon as you do this in a bulking context and you walk away from whatever your bowl of food was, you're setting yourself up for a pretty likely degree of failure. Right? Best practice, only stand up when the plate or the bowl is empty. But opposite to that, if you're trying to cut down, you're trying to stay as full as possible for as long as possible. So this is kind of a classic approach I feel like I see a lot. It's like people will sort of, they'll almost treat dieting as though it's like a temporary state, right? Where it's like, okay, I made it to lunch. I didn't have anything. All I drank was water, or all I had was a coffee. Okay, all right, I won't eat. I'll just have a salad, or I'll just have something small. And then maybe they make it to 6 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, and they've only had maybe 1,500 calories for the whole day, or even less, maybe only 1,000. Which if they were to go to sleep and repeat the process, they would definitely be in a calorie deficit. They'd lose body fat over time. But what happens is if you kind of starve yourself like that, or you sort of, push away food even though you're actually hungry for it for the whole day, by the time night comes around, you are in a situation, you are in a state where you open the fridge and you see a, pint of ice cream in the little drawer. Yeah, what's 1 spoonful going to do? Okay, what's 2 spoonfuls? Before you know it, you've had fucking 800 calories worth of ice cream in 3 minutes. What was the point of all that effort during the day, And I'm not saying this just because I'm guessing. I've done that before, like a total fool. Right? And in my mind, I'm justifying, I'm like, oh, I'll just make it a refeed day. Pure mental weakness. But there is a way to mitigate that by making the day easier. So rather than doing pretty much like a fast in a way, just really skimping on calories all day and then being fucking starving at night, and you just you've literally had a biological urge to get more calories into your system. Instead of doing that, I find, I always skip breakfast because I like doing fasted cardio when I'm dieting. Not because I think it's any better, but I just kind of like the feeling. Plus then if I flex or look at myself in the mirror after doing the cardio, when you're cutting down, you got a really slim stomach. You don't have so much food floating around in here. So it's kind of cool. But, after my cardio's done, I'll have like a high protein breakfast, 50 grams, not much in terms of carbs. Usually I end up just making a big omelet with egg whites. So, 50 grams of protein worth of egg whites, that would be like about 14. And then I'll mix in a bunch of ground up lettuce, spinach, add like 2 slices of cheese in the middle, flip it over on itself. And that ends up being like 500 calories, and that's sick. And I have meals like that evenly throughout the day. So, if this is my hunger bar, rather than keeping it low, oh shit, I'm fucking starving, and then having to spike it, right? Doesn't it just make sense to keep it even the whole day? That's what I say about that, though. So I'm going to sit here, play on my phone for another, however long it takes to finish this.